Hey, what's up guys? This is episode 2 of single leg supremacy. I've given you a long time to think about single leg supremacy. Episode 1, we talked about reasons why you won't be able to do a single leg squat, particularly because of flexibility. So if you haven't watched that one, go back and watch it now. Today we're going to talk about progressions. And by the way, the reason we're talking about using single leg exercises because you can do them anywhere. Here I am in my apartment that's really fairly small. I don't have a weight room nearby. These are something I can do in my office. There's something I can do in my living room, watching a movie, in a stall in a bathroom. Well, maybe not. Anyways, there's something you can do anywhere and they're very effective. And because you're using one leg, you're able to put a lot of emphasis and a lot of resistance on a single leg. So you can build strength. Now without strength, your body's going to feel heavy to you. If your body feels heavy, you're not going to be explosive. So in relation to your own body weight, you should feel very light, which is going to make you more explosive and able to move and accelerate better. So moving on from what we talked about before, we are going to go into how you can develop your single leg squat. Because right now, most people probably cannot get into a single leg, go all the way down, and then come all the way back up. Most people are going to get down here and they're going to fall backwards, or they're not strong enough to push themselves back up. So what do? Well, you start with a progression. So let's say, for example, you can get halfway down and put yourself back up. So what you'll do is you'll go down, you'll sit on something, and then you'll come back up. So you'll start doing sets with that. You can gradually find things that are lower. For example, once you've got that down, maybe you could sit on something this high, and so on and so on. So once you're able to do 1 or 2 of these, then you want to see how many you can do in a day. And again, you don't have to do these all. What's fantastic about these is it's something you can do throughout the day. Maybe in the morning when you wake up, you do several sets. Throughout the day, you can do them as often as you please. And what you'll find is that as your body kind of gets used to doing these, you adapt biologically to this. Your body is trying to tell yourself, wow, this is something I do all the time. This is part of who I am. I need to be able to have this strength and activate these muscle fibers. And you'll also find that as the technique gets easier, the whole thing will get better and easier for you. So just to give you a few more benefits before we move on to making this more difficult. Because right now we're talking about making this easier, which would be using a box like this. You could also use something to support yourself. For example, if you had a chair or something you could hold on to, you could go down and back up using that support, or a doorway or a person or anything like that. Single leg squats are also going to make you more stable. So when you're doing them, you want to make sure your knee and your toes are tracking in the same direction. That your knee isn't going this way and your toe going that way. And as you do those, you're really going to agitate your joint and potentially lead to injury. So that's something you want to make sure. And as you get better at these, you'll notice less and less wobble, which means when you jump, there's going to be less torque. For example, maybe you've had the experience of jumping and your knee collapses, or jumping and there's a wobble. This single leg activity really makes you stable. And when you're stable, you're able to transfer power through your legs better, whether it be one leg or 2 leg. So we've talked about the progression for making this easier. So you can start doing sets of 3, sets of 5, sets of 10. It's going to come to a point where you're saying, hey, these are pretty easy, and you're going to need more resistance in order to get stronger. You've gotten stronger. You'll notice an increase in your vertical leap. Now you need to make it harder. Well, that can be very easy. You can take an object such as this, fill it full of water, hold it like this, do your single leg squat. I used to do them by filling up my luggage with stuff. So you'd fill this up with, anything, books, clothes, animals, not animals. Another easy one that I always recommend is fill your book bag up with books, put it in front. Do your single leg squats with that as well. One thing that I always like are using bands. And so, bands offer many benefits, such as a faster, more intense, eccentric workout. They also force you to push harder and accelerate faster. A lot of benefits. So if you put this over your head, one on your foot, you can also do your single leg squats with these bands. Fantastic way to add a lot of resistance. Again, you want to make sure your form is always safe when you're doing these. So in this episode, we have covered ways for you to do this safely and start doing it with some aids so that you're able to do it, work into doing your full pistol squat. Then you can start adding resistance with it, and it's going to help you gain strength. It's going to help you gain stability and kind of injury-proof your body. Fantastic way for those who don't have access to a gym. In some of the following episodes, we're going to talk about how you can use that strength and help that strength become more explosive. I guarantee you that new strength is going to help you jump higher. However, there are things you can do to make that strength more explosive, and that's what we're going to talk about in episode 3. So if you have any questions, post them below. I hope everything was clear, but if you do have questions, post them below and I will get back at you. Talk to you soon.